Well, for me, I think that may not be far from the truth. Divorcing with his wife of over 30 years with 3 kids, I think that could be very devastating. That could be very emotional, heartbreaking. I think it has contributed in Manchester City, poor run of form that we've seen of them this season at some point. So I think that could be very hard for anybody to take. Living, I mean, your wife leaving you, a wife that have stayed about 30 good years with you, and with 3 kids, it could be very, very emotional, and it can go a whole long way to destabilize your emotional stability, and it cannot allow you to work effectively in wherever you work or whatever you do, because of the emotional trauma that comes with it. So I believe that is one of the reasons that have hampered Manchester City and Pep Guardiola's fine season so far. But then again, you can also attribute maybe the aging squads of Manchester City to the struggle that we've seen of them of late, because some of their key players are way older than what the pace of the English Premier League requires. Because in the English Premier League, it has to do with pace, and pace it deals with speed. And if you are that old, it will definitely tell on you. There are players that are way above 30, and you don't expect them to be competing at the highest level with some of the young lads that we are seeing in the English Premier League. You take a look at the squad of Chelsea, the very young crops of players are there. Take a look at the squad of Arsenal, young players. Take a look at the squad of Liverpool as well, young players. Maybe you can just point out one or two players that you will say that they are way above 30. If not, they are within the age range of 25, 23, 26, which for me. But if you take a look at the Manchester City squad right now, their key players, I think they are aging. The likes of Ike Godoan, the likes of even Kevin De Bruyne. These are players that are very vital. They are key, to Manchester City, but they are aging. So I believe Manchester City did not do the right business during the transfer, window last time. They should have been able to beef up one or two areas in their squad. Then again, letting Julian Alvarez, leave to Atletico Madrid is another factor that I think is actually, causing Manchester City. But generally, you cannot take away the fact that Pep Guardiola divorcing with his wife or her wife, whichever way you want to put it, is certainly a very big factor that I think is responsible for the blip in form that we've seen of Manchester City of late.
And of course, the reports covered that is that Pep Guardiola is to move out of his £8.5 billion family home after splitting from a wife, Cristina. And Pep is expected to move out of the mansion in Barcelona after his shock split from wife Cristina Serra. And of course, yes, on Monday evening, reports came from Spain that claimed that Guardiola and his wife Cristina had decided to separate after 30 years together. Guardiola, who has 3 grown-up children with his fashion boss wife, has always stayed at their family home and £8.4 million mansion in Barcelona, most elite neighborhood, when he has returned to the Catalan capital from Manchester. Now, it remains clear as to where he will base himself in the future when he spends time in Barcelona. This is Michael. This is a dicey situation. Pep do not have a home anymore, in Barcelona.
And that is very, very frustrating. This is why I say that it may be a factor, or some of the factors that have actually, caused Manchester City drop in form, because a lot will be going through his head. Of course, you saw some of the clips or some of the games that if he's losing, he get to scratch his head and his face. At some point itself, he had to, injure his face while scratching. So a lot is going through his, head because of the emotional trauma, because of a lot of thinking here and there. Losing about 50% of his asset possession. I mean, it is not, easy thing for you to just let go and think that all is well. You can just go on and cope up with your life. You go to training, dish out the instruction to players, tell them what to do, those pep talk, those ginger, those motivational, talks. Whereas he's down, he's not motivated by anything. How do you want him to also motivate his player when a lot is going through his mind, a lot is going through his head? So for me, I think it is a very, dicey situation that Manchester City's Pep Guardiola find himself right now. And I tell you, it's going to take a long time for him to be able to recover from, this mental, damage that he's actually going through right now.
A very big situation for Pep Guardiola, and we hope that, of course, he's going to summon the courage to see how he can elevate himself from this, poor situation.